Hello, Assalamualaikum class. I hope you all are fine and I hope you had a good winter vacations. Today we're going to talk about the first chapter of our final term, which is our chapter number 6, Paint with Whiz, on your page 45 in your books. In this chapter class, we're going to talk about MS Paint and the tools in MS Paint and how they're used, how we're supposed to work on MS Paint. We're going to talk all about it. Now starting, when drawing in MS Paint, we use Select tool for rearranging images. Select tool can be found in Image group. Clicking it will provide a drop-down menu for rectangular selection. Click rectangular selection. Now class, keep this in mind. While working on MS Paint, you're going to have a lot of different groups to choose from, a lot of different icons, a lot of different tools, selections. There's going to be a lot of different options to choose from. Now you have to be wise with what you're selecting and what tool you're supposed to be using. For example, I drew a box. Now a box is shaped either square or rectangle. Now I want to select that square, the box. मुझे उस box को select करना है. Common sense वाली बात है. I'm going to use the rectangular selection to select the square box, and then my box is going to be selected. The selection varies. The selection depends on what kind of shape you have drawn on MS Paint. Now, as I mentioned earlier, that there's going to be a lot of different groups, a lot of different icons. During selection, obviously you're going to be selecting the select tool, and then once you've done that, there's going to be a drop down menu, and then you're going to have a lot of more different options to choose from. All of this is included in Paint, MS Paint. Alright class, earlier I gave you the example of a box, and a box is shaped either rectangle or triangle, or not triangle but square. Now I'm going to give you another example. Let's say I drew a tree and I want to select that tree. The tree leaves, the shape of the tree, it's not rectangle or square, it's more of a different kind of shape. You have freedom, you have all the freedom to create whatever type of tree you want to make. You can either make it very tall or very short, few branches or a lot of branches. It's more like free form drawing. Now in free form drawing, you have to, when you're selecting the free form drawing, you're gonna have to use the free form selection option. When you clicked on select, a drop down menu popped up. You had a lot of different options to choose from. There you had rectangular selection and freeform selection. Obviously you're not going to use rectangular selection for a tree. You're going to click on freeform selection and then you're going to select that tree. Okay, I'm going to make this a little less trickier and a little less harder for you. Basically, पहले मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देती हूँ कि मैंने एक बॉक्स ड्रॉ किया ऑन MS Paint and I needed to select it. How am I going to select it? I'm going to go to the image group and then I'm going to click on select. Select को क्लिक करने के बाद मेरे पास एक ड्रॉप डाउन मेन्यू ओपन हो जाएगा. उसके अंदर I'm going to click on rectangular selection, and with the help of that rectangular selection I'm going to select that box. अब at the same time I drew a tree. अब जहाँ तक ट्री की बात आती है तो ट्री तो किसी भी शेप में इंसान बना सकता है. हम उसको बहुत बड़ा भी बना सकते हैं, बहुत छोटा भी बना सकते हैं. फ्रीली हम ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं, राइट? तो व्हेन यू आर ड्राइंग समथिंग फ्रीली यू आर गोना हैव टू यूज़ फ्री फॉर्म सेलेक्शन. उसी मेन्यू के अंदर जब हमने सेलेक्ट क्लिक किया था, देयर वाज अ ड्रॉप डाउन मेन्यू, देयर वाज रेक्टेंगुलर सिलेक्शन, एंड ऑन द बॉटम ऑफ रेक्टेंगुलर सिलेक्शन you had free form selection. Now I wanted to select my tree. I'm going to click on free form selection and I'm going to select my tree. It's easy as that. Okay, now class, we're going to talk about resize tool. Why do we use resize tool? We use the resize tool to make images bigger or smaller, Skew an object in the picture so that it appears slanted. To resize the whole picture, click Select in the image group the pointer to select the area or object and then click Resize. Now, what this statement states basically is that, let's take for example a tree again. मैंने एक tree बनाया, but I made it too small and now I want to make it big. How am I going to do that? First, मैं obviously क्या करूँगी? I'm going to go to freeform selection. I'm going to select my tree, and after that, what I'm going to do basically is next to that select box, you're going to see crop, resize, and rotate. You see how I've underlined the resize in this slide? I've added that picture. उस resize से क्या होगा? I'm going to be able to make the tree that I drew small. I'm going to be able to make it bigger. मैं उस छोटे ट्री को बड़ा कर सकूँगी. This is what resizing is used for. At the same time, अगर मैंने बड़ा tree बनाया and I have to make it smaller, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this exact same tool, and I'm going to use this tool to make my big tree appear smaller. Now, how do you skew the selected area? To skew the selected area, type the number, horizontal and vertical boxes, and then click OK. What is this going to do? It's going to make uh, your image, your drawing appear tilted. Skew does this function. Okay, now class, we're going to talk about another tool and its function. Now let's say I'm going to give you an example again. This time I'm going to give you an example of a fish. Let's say I drew a fish and now I want to make 5 more fishes that look exactly like the fish that I just drew. Now what I'm going to do basically is I'm going to click on freeform selection. I'm going to select my fish and then I'm going to copy it, and then after copying it, what's going to happen, the fish that I copied, it's going to stay there. But once I've used paste, there's another option, paste in the same group. You're going to click on paste and what's going to happen is आपने जो fish select की थी ना, it's going to copy again and again until you click. जब तक आप paste पर click करेंगे, it's going to paste the thing that you copied. जो fish आपने copy की थी वो वापस से paste हो जाएगी आपकी drawing में, and then you're going to have 5 more fishes that look exactly like the one that you drew at first. And this tool, the copy tool, it's found in the clipboard group. Same goes for the paste option, the paste tool. Another thing that I forgot to mention earlier are some key points. Now class, the thing, have you ever seen that when you open MS Paint, you're going to see at the top of your drawing page, there's going to be different grids with different colors, several colors, and you can choose whatever color you want to draw your shape or you want to draw your drawing with. What are the grid boxes called? They're called color palette. Earlier I taught you how to copy and how to paste. You can do the copy thing not with the mouse but with the keyboard as well. How are you going to copy something? You're going to do what? You're going to select it, obviously. Once that's done, you're going to press CTRL and CTRL and C keys on the keyboard together. And what's that going to do? It's going to copy that selected area or image. Flipping pictures or flipping drawings that you've made on MS Paint can also be done on MS Paint. How is this going to happen? Now what you're going to do is basically to flip pictures to, let's say I drew a boy and मैंने उसके हाथ में right hand में मैंने apple दे दिया, but instead of right hand मैंने left hand में apple देना था. How am I going to change this? I'm basically going to flip this picture. I'm going to select it and then I'm going to rotate it in the image group. A menu drops down and then you can rotate the picture or flip it vertically or horizontally. अब क्या करोगे? You're going to go on the select option again. A menu drop down is going to open. All of this is included in the image group. ये सारी चीज़ें, सारे tools image group में available हैं. Now you're going to click on it and then there's going to be a drop down menu and there you're going to see a rotate option And what that rotate option is going to do is basically you can rotate your picture, the boy with the apple in the left hand. Once you've rotated that boy, the left hand is going to be shifted into right hand, और जो apple उसके left hand में था, it's going to be in the right hand. Another example I'll give you. I drew a fish and मैंने उसका मुंह right तरफ कर दिया, मैंने सीधे हाथ की तरफ कर दिया. But मैंने किस तरफ उसका मुंह बनाना था? I was supposed to make it towards my left hand, but I drew it right hand की तरफ. Simple. I'm going to select it and then I'm going to click on the select option. A drop down menu is going to pop up, drop down, and then I'm going to click on rotate. And once I've done that, rotate हो जाएगी मेरी fish. Right hand की जगह left hand की तरफ उसका मुंह shift हो जाएगा. This is what the rotate function is used for. Now this is flipping and rotating at the same time. Flipping is changing the direction of a picture, and then rotating is changing where a picture is. Like मैंने उसको, the boy was straight, I laid him down, I turned him upside down. This is rotating a picture. And then flipping is right hand में apple था, left hand में चला गया. This is flipping an image. The flipping of an object, this can also be done with the help of keyboard. जिस तरह मैं copy कर सकती हूँ ना with the help of keyboard, I can flip an image as well with the help of keyboard. How is that going to happen? I'm going to press CTRL and R together. मैं CTRL और R keys साथ press करूँगी तो मेरा जो object है जो मैंने select किया हुआ है, the picture that I've selected, it's going to flip. Now let's take a quick review on the topics that we just discussed. We learned about color palette, we learned about copying, pasting, freeform selection, rectangular selection, we learned about flipping, rotating. I hope you understood something from this lecture class. If you have any questions, any queries, you can ask me in the class, and I hope you practice your art on MS Paint. I'm going to ask you some relevant questions related to this chapter in the classroom, and you're allowed to question me as well. Jazakallah. I hope to see you in your next lecture. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.